Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, Kern High School District, and AC Electric Company, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Mickey.
And in studio with us we have Jesse. And Jesse, if somebody needed to get a hold of us, what would they need to do?
For math homework help, in Bakersfield, call 636-4357. Everywhere else, call 1-866-636-6284. You can also email us at dothemath@kern.org. We're also online at dothemathonline.net. And on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right. So, Jesse, where do you attend school and what year are you in?
I am a junior at Highland High School.
All right. Now, a lot of times we have some younger students in here and they don't have all that social media stuff. Do you have all of that stuff as a high school student?
Yes, all of it.
You know, all of it, right? And maybe even a little more, right?
Yes.
So it's great to have a high school student on the program today. I think the highest we've had is a freshman at Stanford University come on. Right. So it's nice to have a student from Highland High School.
Yes.
Let me ask you, because it's probably a little different for you because you're not a senior leaving yet,
no.
but you've done your junior year, which is a pretty important year, all virtual. So can you talk a little bit about that?
I think just the virtual process, I think the biggest thing was switching, being used to not only getting that one-on-one learning, but you're having your friends there to help you or your teachers. But virtually, in the beginning, it was a lot easier just because you had that kind of sense of going at your own pace. But the farther the years gone, I think just getting used to the whole online process, being on that computer, however many hours a day.
Right. Yeah, a long time.
Yes.
So do you have, what are you looking forward to in your senior year? So let's assume at the beginning of next year, August, September, everybody can go back to campus.
I think I'm just looking forward to, all those senior activities everyone talks about and looks forward to. And just really getting to enjoy my last high school year before going off to college.
Right. So do you have plans for college?
Yes, I do. I want to go into something, with a math major and minor in something theater related because, I have a great passion for that. But I want to stay in California.
Okay.
I don't really want to venture out. But eventually, I want to travel.
Oh, good. Well, you know what? That's surprising to hear somebody come in and go, oh, I want to be a math major and continue on with that. So it's refreshing to hear. So thank you for that. So as Jesse said, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 this afternoon, most Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Programming note, today and tomorrow, the final live shows for Do the Math this season. So today the 23rd, tomorrow the 24th of 2021, the final live broadcast for Do the Math. You can always go online, check out archived programs. You might be like, hey, I remember they did this on that and I need to refresh myself on that. You can always go back and look at one of the former programs. But time now for today's Math in the News. All right, and today's Math in the News, well, this is originally, Jesse, why you were supposed to come into the program today because we were going to interview you about your participation with the Boys and Girls Club. So, first of all, I think this needs to be mentioned right off the top. Well, you know what, let's start. How long have you been a member of the Boys and Girls Club?
I've been a member of the Boys and Girls Club for a little over 8 years now.
8 years.
Yes.
And in 2021, did it happen this year or did it happen last year? You have been named the Youth of the Year for Kern County and the Central Coast region. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now that's a pretty big deal. All right, let's see some of the footage. Explain to us what's going on. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
That a high school photo?
That was a headshot for one of our workshops that we do at the club.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there you are, obviously at the club, right?
Yes.
All right. Now the reason I bring this up, and that it is a big deal, is because I'm sure you're aware of this. Kern County, the Boys and Girls Club of Kern County, is the largest club for a Boys and Girls Club in the entire nation.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, well, you got like 10, 20 kids over there or something like that, and he's the, youth of the year out of a handful of kids. You are part of the largest Boys and Girls Club in the entire nation, so it's got to be quite an honor to receive that.
Yes, just, being able to be the youth ambassador for this, coastal California group of kids is just a true honor, and just being able to, go through that experience of, being able to see all these other kids take the same path that I took and be able to get the most success out of it.
So do you have some responsibilities now that are coming with this? Things you have to do, or they're like, hey, it'd be really nice if you did this?
Yes. Just going to certain events, as I said, I'm pretty much just representing that group of kids. Just being their ambassador.
Good. Well, I'm glad you said ambassador, because you're now going to be an ambassador for Do the Math also. But tell us a little bit about some of the activities that you have taken part in with the Boys and Girls Club over the years. And I know in particular you kind of are steered towards one of those areas that you really like and are very good at.
When I first attended the Boys and Girls Club, I was introduced to the performing arts team they have there, known as Music Fusion. And I've been a part of that for 8 years now, and we just, go out for community service. So this clip is from one of our workshops that the Boys and Girls Club puts on, whether it's musicals or just a mashup of songs, just being able to get that same experience that we were able to in person, now virtual. Just the whole experience.
So hold on a second, let's get some of this here. I can hear you singing. Right? Now, talk a little bit about that, because I know that took a lot of work, because this happened where all of you had to be separated, yet it looks like you're all on time and in sync and things like that.
I think just the whole rehearsal process was very make sure everything's, everyone's together. Obviously we can't tell that everyone's doing the right thing, but just being very persistent on that, putting all your effort in and just being able to do it on your own while being used to, having other people to guide you or help you. And so we rehearsed over Zoom, virtual. And then for filming, we luckily had Logic Film Company able, with their amazing technology and experience, they were able to make it so that we all filmed in the same area at separate times, separate from each other, but we're able to, be seen as if we were together with all
it looks like you're all together, but you were actually apart. So that is pretty amazing how this looks.
Yeah, it's just the whole experience was amazing. Being able to be, before we were part of, being on stage, performing with each other, but now going into this film realm, being able to be a part of that experience as well.
Now, was there one person or one thing that kind of steered you into this direction with the performing arts?
So when I attended Bessie Owens Intermediate, I was introduced to the performing arts program they had there, and the instructor Frank Sierra introduced me to this group, which pretty much sparked my passion and really steered me that way.
Oh, good. So as you said, when you go to college, you want to do something with math and then something with the performing arts. So I think you're well on your way. I mean, you've got a lot of experience right now doing all of those things. So thank you for coming in. Thank you for telling us a little bit more about the Boys and Girls Club. Oh, you know what? Before we get going on that, because you're involved with the meals with the Boys and Girls Club. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I am now an intern at my local club, and I now have mentors that are teaching me about our meal service program and how, we serve kids 7 days a week. And there's some kids that, only get their meals through the club, and just being part of that experience is just not only helpful to me and, emotionally, it's just an amazing experience to be a part of something that has such a huge impact on the community.
All right, well, you know what? Giving back, that's going to be key.
Yes.
And a lot of these things are going to go a long way on your resume, first of all, getting into college and then beyond that.
Yes.
So, very nice. Thank you, Jesse. And that is today's Math in the News. 636-4357 is that phone number. Don't forget, you can also email us at dothemath@kern.org. And a lot of people are able to watch us online through the stream at dothemathonline.net. All right, well, you know what? You're here. I'm going to have you do some work. All right, Mickey, you ready?
We're ready.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys a problem here. And before we get going, I'd also like to say that a special hello to Addie. I know that Addie was scheduled to be on the program with us today, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we just want to send out a very thoughtful and be safe and hope all is well with you, Addie. All right, so here you go, boys. Can you open the lock using these clues? So you guys are able to write right up on the board. All right, there's obviously going to be 3 numbers and they have to be in the correct order. So Jesse, why don't you grab a marker and
Okay. So,
look at the first clue, read it, and then think about what you might want it to be at that point.
Okay, so our first clue we have 682. So one digit is right and in its place. So, you know, from there we don't really have anything. So if we're reading the next clue, it says 614. One digit is right, but in the wrong place. So I think there we can maybe really, so we have the 3 numbers, obviously. So 1, 2, 3, excuse me, there. So one digit is right, but in the wrong place. So let's see. It can't be the 6 because here it says one digit's right, but it's in its place. So it can't be the 6 because if it were the 6 here, then this would be in the wrong place. Can maybe be the 8. We can maybe go with that one for now. So 8 in the middle. And then let's look at this third clue. So 206. 2 digits are right, but both are in the wrong place. So we now know that 2 and 6 are numbers. So let's see if we...
So I'm going to pause you right there. So
yes.
looking at it right now, so you're telling me 8's possibly in the middle, right?
Yes.
So let's look back at that first clue. It says one digit is right and in its place. So meaning one of those numbers is the absolutely correct number and it's in its correct place value. Okay, so now looking at the second one, it says one digit is right, but in the wrong place. So I want you to focus on the top 2 at first. One of those numbers obviously is right and in its right place in the first one. So we're looking at just 6, 8, and 2. Okay? Yes. Now looking at the next one, it says one digit is right, but in the wrong place. Do you see any repeated digits in there? Because we know in the top one of those has to be correct, right?
Yes.
But in the next one, it says one digit is right, but in the wrong place.
Maybe the 6?
Why the 6? What makes you think that?
Well, because we have the 6 in the first one, and it says one digit is right and in its place. And then, so we can have the 6 maybe, and then in the second one, it's one digit right, but in the wrong place.
So if you're going with the 6 and it was right in the first one, it can't be in the wrong one on the second one, right?
Yeah.
So do you see anything else that matches or that could potentially work for now?
The 2.
Okay. Where do you want to put the 2?
We can put it over here.
Okay. We'll just pick one for now.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to stick with the 8 or do you want to hold off for now?
Let's hold off.
Okay.
Keep it in mind. But yeah.
We'll keep it in the back of our minds just in case we think about it.
Alrighty, so that third clue, 2 digits are right, both in the wrong place. So it's kind of steering us towards the 2 is one of the numbers.
Okay.
And then both are in the wrong place. So maybe even the 6.
So let me ask you this. Are there any numbers we can eliminate so far that based on the clues, we know it hasn't been in the right place and it hasn't been the right number so far? So let's go back to that 6. It says one digit is right and in its place, right? We said based on number 2, it can't be the 6 in the first place value, right?
Yes.
So can we get rid of the 6 for now?
Yes.
So let's erase the 6. Let's cross out the 6 on the first 2 combos. Because now we know that 1, it's not in the right place and we don't need it so far. So now based on the third clue, can we continue from there?
Yes, so since for now we're excluding the 6, we can use the 2 and the 0 as the 2 digits that are right in the wrong place. So here the 2's in the first place, and what we have is the 2's in the last place. So maybe just like a confirmation that that can work because it's the right number but in a different place. And then So real quick, looking down here, I saw 7, 3, 8. So all digits are wrong. So that means the 8 can't be any of them. So we know that 2 is, for now, the 2 is like there and in the right place.
Okay.
And the last one digit is right, but in its wrong place. Okay, so since we know that 3 can't be 1, this 3 can't, or the 8. So the 0 is in the wrong place, but we know that it's one of the numbers. So 0 is one of them. 2 digits are right, but in the wrong place. So the 0 can't be here, and we have the 2 here, so maybe the 0 is here. Let's see. So going back to so 1 digit is right in its place. Okay, the 2. 1 digit is right, but in the wrong place. Okay, so since we don't really have anything with the 1 and the 4 later that guide us to them being in here, I say we can 1 digit right, but in the wrong place. Would the 6 be able to work in the middle? Let's see. 1 digit is right, but in the wrong place. So maybe the 6 is right, but it's in the wrong place. Okay.
You want to try that combo, or you want to keep working on it?
Let me just look over this real
Okay,
quick.
go
So
for
2
it.
digits are right, both are in the wrong place. So if we were to say the 2 and the 0 are right in the wrong place, then they would be in different places there. And the 2 and the 6 in the wrong places. Okay, so here all the digits are wrong, so the 7, that's not. Then 1 digit is right, but in the wrong place. So the 0 can't be there or the middle, so it has to be, so the 0 can't be in the last place or the middle, so it has to be in the first.
So I like how you're talking about this all the way through, right? You're just
Yeah.
using reasoning to help solve this problem.
Yes.
And Mick will keep working with you, but I think you guys are getting pretty close here.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. On the first 2, you crossed out the 6 because 1 digit was right and in its place, and we now know that's most likely the 2. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now hold on. You crossed out the 6 because you said on the second one, 1 digit is right but in the wrong place. Now you already crossed out
okay.
the 6. So you crossed out the 2 6s up top. Do you want to cross out the 6 down below? That's still open.
Let's see.
The one down there by the 206.
Yes,
If you crossed out the
think-
6s above, do you want to keep that one or get rid of it?
I say let's get rid of it, because
Okay.
with those 2, yeah, let's do that. Okay,
That
so
is a
would-
wise choice, I believe, right there.
Yes, so that would mean that either the 1 and the 4, so 1 digit is right but in the wrong place. So if the 1 is here in the middle and it's in the wrong place, it can't be the 1, so it must be the 4. Let's try.
Would you like to try that one?
Yes.
Oh, and it looks like the combo opened up. Well done. The combo is 042.
There you go.
done.
Nicely done. Only took a few minutes, but there you go. So just by reasoning through all of those, and I know that a lot of times the biggest one that students come up with is they think there's the 6 in there definitely. Because they look at that first clue and they go 1 digit is right, and they go here 1 digit is right, and the only thing that's common is a 6.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where I think you were going
Yeah,
to at
that's-
the beginning, right? And then you can start narrowing it down. Immediately you saw the 738, so you saw that the 8 had to be taken out of here. So I like the way you guys reasoned through that problem. So nicely done on that. Nicely done. So now let's move on to something a little more challenging for you boys, since that one was a little too easy. All right? Have you ever played the game 4-4s?
I don't think
Oh,
so. No.
this is a big day for both of you boys. Here we go. All right, Mick, do me a favor, and up on the top, put 4 4s and kind of space them out so we can put operation symbols in between them. And then at the end, put an equal sign. If you need to move down a little to make it to write easier, that's fine.
We might work with that a little bit.
All right. So Jesse, while Mickey's putting up the 4 4s, I would like you to think of a number between 1 and, well, let's see, you're in 11th grade. So pick any number between 1 and 11.
Let's go with 4.
Let me go with 4. All right, why not? All right, so Mick's going to write down the 4 4s. At the end, Mickey, I want you to write equals 4.
Oh man, there's a lot of 4s on here.
There you go. So Jesse, you are now going to have to use the 4 4s. And in between each of the 4s, you can put addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division symbols. Anything you want.
Alrighty.
Okay, you have to use all 4 4s. You can use parentheses. You can use any math symbols you want.
Okay.
But you have to make the 4 4s come out to equal 4. So you're going to need to remember your order of operations. You
Yes.
remember those?
Yes.
All right, so you remember those, I think.
Let's test you. What are the order of operations? You remember that silly
So
saying that everyone gave you?
PEMDAS, is that right? Yes.
PEMDAS, yeah. Do you remember
So
what
we
each one
have
stands for?
Parentheses,
Okay, P for parentheses,
Yes,
and then
exponents.
E. Good.
multiplication, division, addition, subtraction.
Awesome. All right, you now have all the tools necessary.
Yes.
How would you like to start?
Okay, so we have the 4 and we have 4. Okay, let's just start trying things.
Go for it.
So, let's see. Well, I think if we do 4 squared.
Now, here's a question here, Mike. Are we allowed to use exponents because it's not a 4?
Right, you
We
can't
only have
use
4
an
fours.
exponent of 2.
Okay, there.
No?
All right,
Okay,
so there
okay,
takes some of the
okay.
fun out of it. All right.
Okay.
And the only exponent you would be able to use is a 4.
A 4.
So you would have to go 4 to the 4th, but then you're going to get a pretty big number
Really
if you're
big
trying to
number.
get all the way down to 4.
Yeah, already. 4. Wow.
I mean, I would say probably the worst thing we can do right now is just wait. So I say just start plugging things in and let's see how
Alrighty.
close to 4 we can get.
So let's see. So 4 plus 4, we have 16.
Double check that.
Maybe-
4 plus 4.
I mean 8. Sorry.
There we
that,
go.
That square is stuck in my head. Okay, so 8, and then maybe if we subtract that, we go back to 4. But then we have that last 4. So 4. We can't really put anything there to. Let's see. Well, what if we do? No, doesn't work. Okay. Let's see.
Well, that's good. You're thinking about things, and it's always
Yes.
nice to have an eraser.
4, 8. Okay, let's do 4 plus 4 is 8. Minus 4, we have 4 again. If we do 4 plus 4, we get 12. Let's see.
So are you, like, you've got your heart set on adding the first 2?
What if
I
we
think-
all right, so we have a lot of
something
4s
else.
here, right? We know
Yes.
4s can be tricky with each other. But we're still trying to get down to a relatively low number. So I would recommend maybe seeing how large you could get and see if you can decrease your way down. Because we don't want to essentially get larger towards the end because we want to have 4.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe there's a way we can start larger and use the 4s to work our way back down. See what you can do with that.
So let's try multiplying this just so we end up with. So we have 16 there. And if we do 16, maybe minus 4, and try that. So 16 minus 4, we end up with 12. And we have the same problem we had last time.
All right, so now we're down to 12
Yes.
with another 4. And we need it to
Equals
get 4.
4.
Anything we can do, or what do you think?
No, not really.
No, okay.
I think we would have to somehow. Wait.
You want me to put it back?
No, I'm trying to. Okay, so for now, we would somehow, we can try this. We would have to end up with 8 out of these 3 so that we can subtract the 4 to get the 4.
Okay, so now we have a sort of an end game, right? We have an
Yes.
idea of where we want to be. So now how can we use these first 3 4s
To get 8.
to get 8? What could we possibly do here?
Let's see. 4.
You want a hint?
Wait, I think. Okay.
No hints here, sir.
All right, no hints. All right,
If we
keep going,
do-
boys.
Okay, so this is apart from this idea. But if we do like, so 4 minus 4, we get 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. Then we multiply that by 4. That all cancels out to 0. And if we add here.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I want
Okay.
you to walk us through it using PEMDAS on what you think the orders are and what different values we. Oh, I kind of took off your 4 there. Feel free to help me out there.
Here, fix this.
Oh no, that one's going too. Oh, I'll need some help there. Oh yes, thank you, gentlemen. All right, so walk us through on what you have here. What are the steps, and how do you think it might get us to 4?
Okay, so if we're trying, so we're doing 4 minus 4 and then multiplied by that 4. So because of order operations, if we leave it at this, the 4 times 4 would have to happen first because of the order.
Excellent.
So
So
we
how
would
can we
have
avoid
to. put a parentheses around this. So we get that 0 times 4. And that would happen first because multiplication becomes before addition.
Excellent.
So we end up with 0 times 4, which is 0.
Go ahead and write it down as the next step.
Yes.
We'll kind of keep
Okay.
track of the
Yeah.
steps here.
So we have the 0 times 4, and then plus 4, which equals 4. So after this all cancels out to 0, plus 4, which is 4.
There you go, nicely
Nicely
done.
done.
You know what, for your great work right there, Jesse, it took a little while, but you did get 4. You've got yourself a meal courtesy of our friends at Chick-fil-A, so congratulations on that.
Nice job.
All right, well, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 today, and tomorrow, the final day of live broadcasts. We'll be back with more right after this. Dave, you have an amazing facility here. A lot is going on, and it probably takes a little bit of power to keep everything going.
Yeah, you are right, and it takes a little bit of power and a lot of people to help manage that power here at the facility. We have Matt Garrison, who's an electrical engineer with the Kern County Water Agency.
What does your job exactly entail, and how much energy goes on and what you have to do at this plant?
So as the electrical engineer, I help manage the different electrical facilities we have, be it pumping, generation, and then all the incoming sources.
And what do you like most about being an electrical engineer, and what did you have to study in college to do that?
Actually, just electrical engineering. But the best part is that everything we do anymore is electrical. So, and you can work on anything from as small as software or little tiny chips, all the way up to giant motors and transmission systems that go for hundreds of miles.
Now, over our shoulder over here, we see an entire solar field. What exactly do you do with this?
So for these, it's actually a 1 megawatt system, meaning that it can peak at 1 megawatt of production at any given time, usually in the spring. And it's actually a single axis tracker system, so the majority of all the panels actually tilt throughout the day to follow the course of the sun, which increases the efficiency and then the energy produced from that. Over the course of 2014, we generated 1,660,000 kilowatt hours, which would be about enough to provide for 153 homes or so.
Wow, and what's the difference between the amount of energy needed versus treatment and also distribution?
So treated water actually uses considerably less. We're looking at about 900 kW at any moment to actually treat the water. To push it out to the customer though in distribution, we're looking at about 3,100 kilowatts at any given moment. So it's about 3.5 times as expensive to get water to the customer than it is to treat it.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of the customer, like as a customer myself, I'm wondering when my power goes out at my house, what happens here at the plant when the power goes out?
Well, we have a backup plan for that. If you want to go take a look at the generators. These are our backup generation systems. So total here we have 4 megawatt of capability. It's about 4 of the solar arrays and 2 megawatts per diesel generator. And in the case that we did have a blackout or something, we disconnect ourselves from PG&E for safety reasons. And these guys spin up in about 30 seconds to a full minute, and we should be back online within a minute or less.
That's really efficient. It's great to know that we have a good backup plan.
Well, on this edition of Do the Science, we certainly have had a fascinating flow of events to travel through. Olivia, what do you take away from all of this?
You know, I think my favorite part was just seeing the water at the initial stage and then seeing it all the way at the end and how much energy actually goes into the treatment plant.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. This entire process, which is extremely extensive, I think is important for people to understand and know how the water gets to their homes and how it's purified and how it's made consumable. And so just to see, like Olivia, the entire process was incredibly rewarding. So I had a lot of fun. It was great.
Indeed it was. We did have a lot of fun, and today's program was funded and sponsored by the Kern County Water Agency's Improvement District Number 4. And for all of us on this edition of Do the Science, thanks for watching. right, well, once again today, we're fortunate enough to have a member from the Panama Buena Vista Union School District Performing Arts in here with us, and Kelly Willie is with us. Kelly, how are you today?
I am well, thank you, Mike.
So, Kelly, where do you work? Like, is there 1 or 2 schools you work at or more, and what is your role with those schools?
I teach 7th and 8th grade. I am at Tevis Junior High only, exclusively, and I do sectionals like you would have done in elementary school, where the kids pull out and go all trumpets together, all flutes together. And we teach a full band, symphonic band, which is basically the 8th grade or more advanced band, and a concert band, which is more like a 7th grade band. And I have a jazz band as well, and they are wonderful. I miss them so much.
Oh, good. Well, you know what? You've got Jesse with you, a junior at Highland High School, so take it away.
Okay. Well, today, Jesse, we're going to talk about when you are learning a piece or you're going to be singing, the conductor or somebody will give you a pitch. And they'll say, hey, give me an A. And you say, yeah, I need that A. Well, what is that A? And I'm going to play something with you. And these are both my trumpets, and they're just B-flat trumpets. And I'm going to play it. Here we go. Did that sound normal?
Yes.
So you could sing that and everything would be great, okay? And I'm going to play it on here. Now these have both been tuned to a concert A, okay? But you're going to hear something a little weird. Okay, I love the mask. Okay, here we go. Did it sound the same? It may have. They've been sitting here. Did they sound a little bit the same?
Yeah, a little. There's a little difference, but.
Okay. So they should actually sound about the same, but like if we were sitting in a band, so that was that note. One of them is pitched, we're tuned just 2 different ways. So when, how do you know if you say, hey, orchestra, let's tune to your concert mistress and play that A for them, and they play the A on the violin and they have the whole orchestra tune. How do we know that A is proper? How do we know that's the right A?
I think it's just really listening to it and knowing, and we have to obviously tune the instrument before.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm fortunate I don't have strings, but if I picked this up and I did, so here it is, and what if I did that? It's the same pitch. Did it sound the same?
A little, it was a little higher.
Yeah. So that's completely different. It's really hard to play with this mask. I'm going to tell you about sound waves. Okay, so here is my lovely drawing. And I want you to think about if you've ever been in a car and you've driven through the countryside, at some point you're driving along and then you go down a hill and you go, whoo, and it's like, oh, that was fun. It felt like a roller coaster. And you're going down. And then you go, oh, here comes another one. And you go up to the top and here it is. And there is, whoo, it feels like a roller coaster. Well, if we saw this as a sound wave, and we did from right here where the car is, and we went right there to the top of that one, this distance is a frequency. How often, if it was a sound wave, how often do we go from the peak to the peak, or the trough to the trough? And this frequency, we know, so this car would be going over, starting here, 1, 2, 3, so 3 in a certain amount of time. And if you're driving in a car, well, there would be some space. We would need to know how far apart that is. Okay, but in sound, we're talking about little tiny sound waves that we can't see. So this car is, let's say it's going 1, we'll just count all 3 of those, and this one, so 4, and we'll say that was done in 2 minutes. So you're going 2 minutes and 4 of those things. How fast is that?
About two waves.
2 waves
Yes,
in that amount of
yes.
time, right? Okay. So that's in sound, we're going to call that hertz. I'll use this color. Okay. we're going to call that hertz, H-E-R-T-Z, and it's the wavelength and the frequency of those bumps, okay? And in the orchestra, at one time, you used the sound of the A, and you said, violinist, play the A, and everybody tuned. The problem with that is that in one town, the A might be in one place. In another town, the A might be in another place. So how do we get it to sound the same? Well, fortunately, in our world, we have tuners, which is really nice, if I can hit the right button, okay? Okay, so there's our concert A, and it's like that. And that is at 331 hertz. Now the way they do that is that's per second. So if you think about the car going 331, that was a random number, by the way. That would be 331 Hz per second. So you would get sick. That's fast. That is fast. Okay. The hertz, the frequency, we use A440. So A440 means we're doing 440. But how come we don't use 331 or 332 or 352? Because people that make pianos made it so. If you have your pianos are all tuned, they're all going to be tuned the same, and boom, that's it. Mallets, like bells and stuff, they're all basing it on that. And they're doing a type of tuning, but in today's world we have these which show us, hey, we're going to all do 440, and they're actually, that's this one, 440, and then this one, you hear how it's not quite right?
Flash.
Okay, so that would be somebody's flat or somebody's sharp, and if they are actually, oops, I went to the wrong pitch. Oops. How fast can I do this? I'm going to put this one at 440, and they should sound a whole lot better that way.
Yeah.
There we go. So now they're together. But it's really pretty random as to why we picked that number. We do use 440, and that equals an A. And that's a certain A. It's the A above the middle C. So we did this, and there's an institute, the National Institute for Science and Technology, I believe. And they would broadcast, like we used to get the phone, and it would say, the time is, and it would tell you the time, and it did that every few seconds. They do the standard of this, they do the atomic clock, so that everybody in our country is at A440. And all of our orchestras are supposed to be the same. So when they have you sing an A, it should be at that frequency.
Okay, yeah.
So that we're all doing A the same. Any questions about that?
No, so like before we had these tuners, for people that played music, was everybody kind of at different pitches because we didn't have this like standard tuning?
I would say that it probably was, and like guitars, a lot of people will do harmonic tuning, so they hit their E string and then they tune by using the frets. So the instrument is in tune with itself, but you sit in an orchestra, you may not be at 440, and that will cause problems.
Yes.
So then if you're going to sit in an orchestra and play that guitar, they're going to have to go to the standard pitch. So we're all doing the same A.
Yes, so certain instruments can have their way of sounding right with themselves, but when put with other,
Oh yeah, I would say if I played my trumpet and pushed the slides all the way in, I'm in tune with myself. But if I have a piano player accompany me, it's not going to sound right.
Okay.
Because we set it at the 440 frequency.
Okay.
All right, great lesson right there. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for Jesse and helping out on that and learning about the waves and the 440, the appropriate hertz that you guys need to be at. All right, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, I'm Salamander. One way that I show that I love the earth is by having a veggie garden in my backyard.
Hello, my name is Buffalo. I love the earth, which is why I decided to become a naturalist, so I can teach other students how to value the earth as well.
Audrey from Camp Keep. I love the earth, so I plant flowers for the birds and the bees and the butterflies.
My name's Elif, and I love the earth because it has kept me anchored here my whole life.
This is Nidaria. My favorite thing about the earth is the fact that everything is connected. So living things all rely on other living things to survive, and we all rely on non-living systems as well. Things like the water cycle, the carbon cycle, and our transportation systems. So everything is connected. We all rely on each other and on other things to survive.
My name's Lacey. I love nature because it provides so many different opportunities for cool sightings, and I constantly marvel at nature. I hope you marvel at nature too.
Hi guys, my name is Krill, and I wanted to tell you that I love the earth, so I'm a naturalist because I get to share that love with nature and our earth every day with kids that come to Camp Keep, and I am so stoked about my job, and that is something that I do because I love the earth so much.
My name's Lobster from Camp Keep by the Sea, and to share my favorite part about the earth, and that is how it continually changes. Take this creek for example, right near where I live. About 3 months ago it was completely empty, no water flowing and almost nothing growing here. But now, water's flowing, everything's green, and there's even a pair of wood ducks that live near here.
Hi, my name is Oak, and I love the earth, so I keep my showers under 5 minutes.
Hello there, Onyx here. Good to see you, friends. Now, I absolutely love this big blue marble. It offers us so much opportunity to learn, explore, to really enjoy ourselves. And so a way of saying thank you to this beautiful place, I like to focus on water conservation. And friends, it's really simple. To save water, I only shower when it rains.
My name is Rainey Pierce. Behind me is Charles Creek, one of our local creeks in Morro Bay that is just absolutely beautiful. And what's special about Charles Creek is it flows right into our estuary.
Hi friends, I'm Kat. Recycling's great, but that adds up too. So whenever I leave the house, I grab my reusable water bottle. That way I'm not using one-use bottles over and over again. I can just refill this one.
This is Willow, and I love the earth, so I make sure that all my cleaning products are safe and healthy. I use things like baking soda and vinegar to wipe things down.
I'm a naturalist at Camp Keep, and I love the earth, so one of the things I do is I compost my food waste. And so this is a bunch of fruit and carrot tops and other stuff. What I do in my compost piles, I just dump it out. And then watch this, I'm gonna take my pitchfork, I'm gonna mix that in, and underneath there should be a bunch of worms that are breaking that down and making, see, look at all those worms right there. And they're helping breaking down all that food and turning it into good soil.
A lot of great experiences students have when they go over to Camp Keep. Jesse, did you have an opportunity when you were in 6th grade to go to Camp Keep?
Yes, I did. It was an amazing experience. You really, you know, everyone's like, that's the trip you look forward to your last year at this school.
Right.
It was just a really fun experience getting to learn about all these different things about nature and, you know, doing all these activities that introduce you to new, I don't know, like topics and stuff. But it was, yeah, it was an experience.
Now, was that your first time away from home also?
Yes, it was, yes, one of the
And that
first
I know
times.
is a big thing for students because
Yes.
they're like, oh, this is the first time I'm away. You know, they're 6th grade, so they're like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Anyway, you enjoy your music lesson over there?
Yes, it was fun. I
Good.
learned.
I'm glad we once again were able to have somebody from Panama Buena Vista in and do a little music and math at the same time. Anyway, this is a bonus math in the news today. I found this article in the newspaper. Have you ever done a Rubik's Cube?
Tried.
Okay, there you go. Well, you know what? I've tried also. I think when they first came out, and it was like, all right, well, great. Somebody, it just went off to the side. Anyway, the article is about math professors and how they get so used to teaching something that they forget what it's like to learn something for the first time. So they were saying after you do something for a very long time, it becomes second nature, right? There are kids that can do these Rubik's Cubes in seconds, right? No matter what shape it is that you give it to them, they can solve it quickly. The brain does not like new stuff, he said. Learning is hard. This is one of the math professors. He said, seasoned colleagues lament how little students seem to know, but don't recall how challenging the subject matter was when they first started out. It's called the expert blind spot. So I know how to do this, and I can do it quite well, but when you're teaching somebody, you forget how much of a struggle it is for them because it's the first time. So that's called the expert blind spot. So what they did is they gave these faculty members Rubik's Cubes and said, hey, go ahead and solve this for us. And they wanted to introduce the idea of intellectual humility. And there were little video courses that they could watch, right? And some were like, I'm not watching that. I know how to do this. I can do it on my own, right? And then they would get very frustrated. And some would say they would say that the person in the video moved too fast for me to keep up with them, right? Which is what sometimes students say, you're going too fast. I know you know what you're doing, but you're explaining it, but you're still going too fast. And they would rewind the lesson a bunch of times to be able to do it. And they said, this is not only fun, but it's taking up time I don't have, right? So it's the same thing for students, right? I mean, the students might go, listen, you know, I understand this is what you want me to do in things, but I have to do it 17 times in order to get it once maybe, and it's taking a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of time, okay? So that brings me to your game today, all right? So have you ever played this game? Do you have any idea what this is?
No.
Right? So these toothpicks are something different, all right? So here's the object of the game, all right? You're going to put these pegs in here anywhere you want, and there will be one space left open, all right? So first of all, do that, and then I'll let you know what you need to do. So just put them in anywhere you want. You know there's going to be one space open.
Yes.
So think about where you might want that one space.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and then I'll let you know the next step.
Let's see. Just put these here.
And so what's your strategy right now? Just filling in the outside, it looks like?
Yeah, just pretty much.
Okay. There's not much you can do. I mean, you basically have filled all of it except one, right?
Okay.
All right, so now here's what you do. You want to use one of the pegs and jump one. All right? When you jump one, you want to remove that one. Okay?
Okay.
And then wherever you're left, you jump another one. Now, what are your options right now to start the game?
We can either do this blue one here,
right,
or this blue one here.
Right. Are there any other options?
And then this red one here and this blue one here.
So you have 4 options to start the game. So it's up to you. Which one do you want to start with?
Okay, let's do this one. So we move here and then
when you jump, take out.
Okay.
All right. Now your goal is to keep doing this
until they're all.
Until you only have one left.
Okay.
Okay. That's the goal. All right.
Okay.
Have at it.
Okay. So let's go here. So get rid of this one. I already got myself stuck.
Well, you're not stuck.
Oh no. Okay.
I was going to say there's plenty of places to go.
There. Take this one out. Okay. Let's see. Here. That one. Let's go this yellow one.
Now, I know you're kind of doing this randomly, but if you have any ideas on what you're trying to do or any strategies, just kind of verbalize those at the same time. But otherwise, I know you just, let's just get rid of some.
I think just making sure that I'm not left with like one on this side and one over here.
There you go. Well, that's a strategy.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, this one here.
Now, you don't want to have something isolated all by itself because you know it's going to be stuck. And if you can't get to one, you want to get as few as you can.
Yes.
The goal is to be left with one.
Okay, let's go. Let's see. Okay, wait. Let's go. Yes. Wait. Yes, let's go here. We're going to go here to that one. here.
There you go. That's a good move.
There. And then here. There.
You might be a little stuck now.
Yes.
Well, keep going. I think go as far as you can.
Okay. Let's see. We can, well, the only thing we can do is move here. But now everything's apart from each other.
Right, so everything's apart from each other,
Yeah,
right?
so
So
there's
you were
nothing.
left with 3. Not a bad effort right there, okay? It's difficult to get 1, all right?
Yeah.
So, Mick, do you have any suggestions? Because I know you've played this. It's been a long time for you. But do you have any ideas on how to? So go ahead and set them up again, Jesse, real quick.
As you're setting it up, try to think about trying to navigate them all towards one side or another.
Okay.
Think about kind of moving the pegs maybe in some sort of row or an organized fashion. So that way you're trying to move everything to one side or the other.
Okay.
When you start moving different directions on the board is when you begin to leave things isolated because you're moving pegs away from each other.
Okay.
So try to think of a strategy where you can keep them still moving in the same direction and using a peg to jump, make sure it can get jumped by something else.
Okay.
So it's a little bit like chess. You got to think a couple moves ahead and think where they're going to end up and what's possible.
So try it again. Is this the one you left blank before?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Yeah, here. Okay.
But it
doesn't matter.
Obviously,
Okay.
you don't want to start the way you did before.
Yeah.
Or
Anyway.
do different things on the way.
Yeah, you
right?
could leave one empty in the middle. You could leave one empty on the edge. It's totally up to you. Whatever you think might help.
Okay.
All right, so take one more shot at it.
Let's try this. Go here. Or this one. Let's go here. That one.
And remember, you got 3 last time, so the goal is
Yes,
to get
better than
lower
3.
than 3, or at least 3 again.
Okay, so I'm just trying to really navigate all of them into this corner. Let's see.
And even if you're going one way, it's okay for them to go back the other way.
Yeah.
Just don't really spread them out too far.
Here. Wait. Okay, let's try this. Oh. Okay. Get rid of this one. I think I'm stuck again. Yep.
Well, no, you can. There's still moves. You can move that
Oh,
green one.
yeah, the green one.
There you go. But when you have that narrowness up on the top, all right. Well, you know what? You ended up with 5.
Yes.
So it's a little worse than your first time, right? We'll go with beginner's luck on that first one. But anyway, something new. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take this away from you right now.
Okay.
All right. And you've got 36 toothpicks. So why don't you pull those over by yourself there? And here's what I would like you to do. I want you to make the biggest fence, right, that you possibly can using 36 toothpicks.
Okay.
Right? What is the longest fence you can make? Right? The biggest fence that you can make using 36 pieces.
Is there any like regulations or just?
No, it's up to you.
Whatever you think would qualify as the biggest fence using 36 toothpicks.
And I'll give you 4 minutes to make this fence.
Okay, let's see. So, let's just start here. So just like the biggest or the longest or just biggest in general?
Whatever you think the biggest means.
Okay, well, my perception of like just the fence is like, you know, the really long ones you see in the movies or in the front of the houses. Okay. Maybe if we do like this. Wait. Maybe here. That doesn't look right.
So you've got one post in the ground.
Yes.
Right? And then you're going to go diagonally, you're going to put another post.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's going to continue after that? You're going to keep in that pattern, or you're going to do
Let's
something
try.
different?
Let's try that, or let's do the other way. There. Okay. Just see here and then here. And then I can use all of these, right?
You have to use all 36. I mean, you
Okay.
want to make the biggest one you can, so you might as well
Yes.
use all of them,
Okay,
right?
Let me just try to.
Well, you know what? If you want to, you can curve it. It's fine.
Okay.
Fences are always because of the amount of space you've got. And you've got 2 minutes left.
Okay. Let's here. Let's move to the other side.
There you go. Use all the space.
Okay, what's gonna? And then end of.
You just reinforce one of the ends.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a pretty good looking fence. All right, let's see. It's about, so let's go about there. There's 12 inches. Why don't you go ahead and.
Okay.
So there's 24.
And then we're like.
I'll give you about 11.
We're pretty close to 3 feet. Pretty close.
Almost.
So you've almost got 3 feet of fence there. Is there anything that you can think of right now that would be able to, where I could go, you know what, you've got 3 feet on there, I bet you I could get 4 feet easy. That you could turn this into 4 feet. Do you see anything with your pattern that might be able to do that? So you could make a longer fence.
Well, let's see. We can, so if we were to take like every other, this was here. Okay, wait, I think I'm lost in this corner. If we take like every other post out, so we have, so let's save this one. So we take like this one out and this one.
Okay, so you're still making a fence.
Yes.
And you have all of this that you'd be able to add on to the end.
Yes.
Right? Nicely done. Hey, Jesse, I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
Did you learn a little something today?
Yes.
Well, good. That's one of the main things we want you to do is learn a little something. Did you have fun today?
Yes.
All right, good. I'm glad about that. Will you do me a favor?
Yes.
Because you're going to be attending college pretty soon, and you might be here in California, as you said. Do us a favor and come back in a year or so and let us know how you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, great. You know what? Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, Kern High School District, and AC Electric Company, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.